So in your kit, you should have your mini owl vase, a 3-inch vase, as well as a 2-inch ring with the 50-inch 4 of those cords attached with a lark's head. There's a little bead, two 40-inch cords, and two 37-inch cords, and one 20-inch cord. Start by taking the 4 left cords and make a right hand square knot. Take the right cord across, left cord in front, then behind and through the loop. Make sure to tighten that all the way to the top and don't let the center cords twist. Finish the square knot, left cord across, right hand in front and through the loop, and tighten to finish your square knot. Repeat with the square knot on the left, this time a left hand square knot. So left cord across first, right hand cord in the front and through the loop. Tighten to the top, don't let the center cords twist. Then the right cord across, left cord in the front, behind and through the loop to finish your right hand or left hand square knot on the right. So 2 square knots. Now we're going to make a square knot with the 4 center cords, left cord across, right cord in the front, behind and out through the loop. Tighten that all the way up below the other 2 square knots, then right cord across, left cord in the front, behind and through the loop to finish the square knot. Next, we're going to add a bead. Take the 2 center cords, find the ends, twist them together, and twist them onto your agate stone bead and pull that all the way through to the top. We're going to finish that and hold it with a square knot using the 4 center cords, right cord across, left cord in the front, behind and out through the loop. Tighten that right under the bead. Finish the square knot, left cord across, right cord in the front, behind and through. Remember, a square knot always has 2 knots, one going one way, one going the other. Now we're going to repeat the top 2 square knots underneath. So a right hand square knot on the left side. And a left hand square knot over on the right side. So 2 knots to make a square knot. For a left hand square knot here, left cord goes across first. You're going to make like a 9 and then out through the loop of the 9 and finish with the right cord across and behind and out through the loop. So the top is symmetrical using the left and right hand square knots. If you prefer not to do that, you can just use any square knot, left or right, for all of those. Now we're going to make a square knot in the center with the 4 center cords. It's about 2 fingers widths down or about 1.5 inches. Left cord across. From here on out, I'm using just a regular left hand square knot with my left cord across first. I'm going to tighten it up to where it's 2 fingers length down, and then finish the square knot, right cord across, left in the front, behind and through the loop. Next, we're going to add our 40-inch cords. We're going to find the center by evening the ends and then find the loop. We're going to take the loop behind the left 2 cords and then pull the cords back through the loop towards the inside. These newly added cords will be used to make knots. The cords that you're adding the cord to will not be used to make knots. We will add more cords there later. Do the same thing on the right side. Find the center of your 40-inch cord, make a loop, put it behind and toward the outside of the right hand 2 cords, and then pull through the loop towards the inside. Make sure that you don't let those two cords get twisted, and then you want those at the same height as your square knot from previously. Next, we're going to make 2 more square knots using the newly added cords and 2 of the cords from the center square knot, the ones on the left. We're going to make this square knot 2 fingers lengths down, about 1.5 inches. So the first half of your square knot here, measure 2 fingers lengths, then finish your square knot and tighten it up. Do the same thing on the right with the newly added cords on the right and the 2 right hand cords from the center square knot. Again, just a regular left hand square knot with the left cord across first. You're going to make it at the same distance, 2 fingers lengths down. I like to measure, make sure they're at the same length before finishing my square knot. Now we're going to take 2 cords from each of those square knots, the 2 on each center side, and make a square knot. Again, 2 fingers lengths down, or even a little less than 2 fingers lengths here. Finish your square knot. Next, we're going to add the 37-inch cords. Again, find the center, make a loop on the left side. It's going to be added to those 2 outside cords that we added the previous cords to. Go behind them, make a loop, and pull the newly added cords to the center. Tighten them up and push them up to the same distance there as those previous square knots. Do the same thing on the right with the 37-inch cord. Find the center, get a loop, put it behind the 2 cords that we're adding to, pull the loop in, and pull those new cords toward the center. Again, make sure you're not twisting any of the cords. Make sure they're nice and straight and that your knot is tight. And I like to check the distance by pulling those 2 cords together and make sure that they're at the same distance down. We're going to make 2 more square knots, one on the left with the newly added cords and the 2 cords from the previous square knot. They're going to be at the same distance down, about 1.5 inches as our center square knot. Once that square knot is complete, we're going to do the same on the right with the newly added cords and the 2 cords from that previous square knot. Once I finish this, I like to check that all of the square knots are at the same distance down, and if not, I will adjust just to make sure they're all straight. Make your knots nice and tight, straighten them out. If you need to adjust, now's the time to do it. Next, we're going to take our 2 side cords from each side, pull them toward the center. Make sure the top cord on each side becomes the center cord, and make a square knot with those 4 cords, and that will create a little spot for the owl to sit. This distance should be about where the previous square knots were, but if you want to make it slightly shorter or longer, depending on how the owl sits in there, you can adjust it after you fit the owl. So there's your final square knot. And now we will check by putting the owl in and make sure everything looks how we want it to. He wants to sit in there not too high so that he won't fall out. Now we're going to make a wrapping cord at the bottom, a finishing knot. Take your 20-inch cord and make a loop about 2.5 inches. The loop is going to be facing down, and you're going to wrap it downward around the cords towards the loop, put it through the loop, and you actually want to wrap it about 5 times. Once it's through the loop, when you pull up on the loop, it will tighten it to hold it. And this is where we're going to actually add that finishing knot. I like to take the owl out, just open my hand, put the loop in there, start wrapping downward. Try not to overlap. Once you get it around once, you can tighten it and then start wrapping 5 to 6 times, nice and close to each other, no gaps. Keep wrapping until you've got 5 or 6 wraps, then down through the loop. Pull up on the little cord at the top to tighten the loop. And then trim that bottom cord about 1/4 inch from where that loop is pulling. Not too close. And then we're going to use a little bit of force to pull that up inside. If you pull too hard, it will come out the top, so be very careful. And then trim that cord all the way down on the top. I like to fit my owl just to make sure that it's at the right distance. If you need to adjust it, you can slide it up and down. Next, we're going to finish the bottom. You can trim by cutting them straight across. I like the look of the different lengths, so I like to add little knots or just brush the bottoms out with a dog brush or a comb. I'm going to show you how to make a double knot. You go through once, one more time, turn it over, and push those knots together. I'll show you this close up again. So here's the double knot. Go through the loop one more time. Turn it over. You see the 2 loops. You're going to pull and push those loops together. This makes a nice knot that adds texture. I like to brush the ends out, make it fluffy, and those look really good. You can put them at any spot. I like them at the ends, but you can put them farther up. The other thing you can do is just unravel the 3-ply cord all the way, and it makes a really